So the first target that the Ebola virus goes after in order to gain a proper foothold in the host is the innate immune system. So major players in this include the monocytes and macrophages. The What the Ebola virus actually does is it will infect these immune cells directly and modulate their machinery to allow the release of inflammatory cytokines and chemokines. This will cause a massive immune response that's primarily inflammatory, increasing vascular permeability and actually helping the virus get into new places. In addition to vascular permeability increases, the release of cytokines usually draws more monocytes and more macrophages to the site of infection, where these infected monocytes are releasing these inflammatory cytokines, and this is actually kind of a trick that Ebola plays on this, because it's essentially drawing in these cells to infect them and to further dampen the innate immune system. For instance, another thing that this does is that on on myeloid cells, the triggering receptor expressed on myeloid cells, this protein becomes activated and actually causes further inflammatory signaling and even more increases in vascular permeability. In addition to this, the expression of the cell surface tissue factor on these myeloid cells is thought to lead to coagulopathies, so inability or just alterations in the blood coagulation system. So this causes further damage. With the Ebola virus infecting many of these myeloid lineage macrophages and monocytes, there is widespread apoptosis of these cells, leading to a massive decrease in the overall innate immune system as a whole. In addition, another type of immunologic cell, the immature dendritic cells residing in the lymphoid tissues, are also key targets with Ebola, and once infected, they will also be modulated to not produce cytokines and also downregulate MHC presentation, which in turn affects the adaptive immune system seriously, because there are no presentation complexes to present antigens to T helper cells. In addition to the destruction of the macrophages and monocytes and the overall innate immune system, another component of the Ebola pathogenesis includes the pathways to inhibit the production or response to interferon. It's known that normally when interferon is expressed and properly received via receptor or whatever, the immune system and the associated cells and the majority of the body will actually be induced to have an antiviral state, essentially putting a damper on any viral infection. Ebola works very, very well to inhibit interferon. So on the actual genome of Ebola, there are different viral encoded proteins in specific that I'll get into. There's viral protein 24 and viral protein 35. Starting with viral protein 24, the protein signal transducer and activator, which is necessary for proper interferon production and secretion, is blocked via viral protein 24 from the Ebola virus. This acts to stop the accumulation of STAT1 in the nucleus, thereby inhibiting interferon signaling, and in addition, cells not being able to respond to the antiviral state. In addition, the interferon regulatory factor 3 is also blocked by another viral protein 35. What this actually ends up doing is decreasing the ability of the cell to have a response to the interferon that would be secreted. Finally, the lack of interferon reduces the activation and maturation of dendritic cells. This further dampens the immune system by not allowing the adaptive branch of the immune system to be stimulated, since the majority of T cells and T helper cells and T cytotoxic T cells, they are activated significantly in normal situations by the matured activated dendritic cells in the lymphoid tissues. Without proper activation of these dendritic cells, there is essentially no way to connect to the other branch and to stimulate the powerful adaptive immune system.